Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to talk about 5 reasons why the Daring Way model works and why it can help you. So for those of you who know Brené Brown or don't know Brené Brown, she is a shame researcher. She spent over a decade researching shame and vulnerability and authenticity, and she's a professor at the University of Houston, and she's also a social worker. She was also my professor in graduate school. Just want to throw that out there. But I am a certified Daring Way facilitator, which means I was trained in 2014 to facilitate and teach her curriculum to people in the community. And it's been such a powerful thing in my life. And I want to share kind of the top 5 reasons why I think it would help you if it was something you were interested in. Number 1, shame is universal. So shame is a pretty heavy word. Shame is a focus on self. Guilt is a focus on behavior. Shame is the belief that I'm bad. Guilt is I did something bad. So, I think shame affects us all. It is something that we all struggle with, and we don't talk about it because it's considered a taboo word or a bad word, but we all have it. We have all experienced it. We all have it now, or we've had it then, or at some point we've experienced that feeling of shame, of not being good enough, not feeling worthy, not feeling like who we are is enough. And it's a universal thing. We've all experienced it. Number 2, shame can't survive empathy, and we cannot go at this alone. So the reason why I think going through a Daring Way, either group or a workshop, is so powerful is because you're in a room of people who are there for the same thing, right? Like, we've all experienced that heavy feeling, and there is nothing like sharing that shame with other people and offering empathy. Brené talks about in her research how if you put shame in a petri dish and you douse it with self-compassion and empathy, the shame can't survive. And so when you're in a group setting and you're actually speaking your shame out, it really offers other people in the room a chance to offer self-compassion, offer empathy, and offer that support to you. And the shame can't survive. It cannot live. Yes, it's still there. Yes, it's, surrounding us, but it doesn't feel as big. It doesn't feel like it's taking control of over our lives, because there are other people in the room who are able to share that with us and offer that empathy. So the shame can't survive empathy. Reason number 3, you really want to get back in line with your values. The really great thing about the Daring Way model and curriculum is that Brené talks a lot about how our values are our foundation. That when we get clear about the values that guide our way in the dark, and we get clear about what is important to us and what we hold dear to us, that can't be taken away from us. So if we're experiencing something hard in our lives, whether it's something in your relationship or you're about to enter a hard conversation with a friend or a colleague, no one can take those values away from us. You can lean on those values to be able to go into that difficult moment. And I don't think, I don't know about you, but I know that thinking about my values and what those really are were not something I thought about very often before I was introduced to her work. I never thought about what are my values, what do I believe in, what's important to me, until I started digging into her work. And I think when we can get really clear about those values, it makes everything else feel less daunting. It feels like, okay, I know who I am, I know where I stand, and I know how to kind of check myself when I'm not in line with my values. When I'm not feeling like I'm in line with the things I believe in, then I need to get curious about what that is and what needs to happen in order for me to get back in line. So if you're feeling like, I don't know what my values are, I don't know what I believe in, Daring Way workshop is for you, because it really helps you get clear on those. So reason number 4, you maybe want to get back in touch with your creative side. I know for Sarah and I, who is my colleague that we do our groups together, we really integrate a lot of creativity into our groups and workshops. And Brené does too. It's really one of her values is creativity. And so I often hear group members come in, and when we ask them, what brought you here? What got you excited? Or why did you decide to join this group? People always say, I haven't been creative in a long time, and I really want to get back into it. I used to take pictures. I used to paint. I used to draw. I used to write. I used to color, and I haven't done that in years. Either life happened and I just lost my way, and I really want to get back into my creative side. And so the nice thing is that when we do our groups and workshops, we do a lot of activities together, a lot of processing. And in that processing, we invite our group members to get creative, whether it's with the supplies that we have in the room or magazine cutouts or stickers or whatever they bring with them. It really helps group members, I think, bring out that inner creator, and you leave feeling really rejuvenated and excited to go back into your life and say, man, I'm going to pick up that camera again, or I'm going to start cooking again, or I'm really going to get back into what I used to love because it feels good and it nourishes my soul and my heart. Reason number 5, you want to get back in the driver's seat. I was listening to a podcast recently. I don't know if you've heard of Oprah's Super Soul Conversations, and she was interviewing Elizabeth Gilbert, who's an author of Big Magic, who I love. It's a great book. And Elizabeth was talking about how fear, sadness, anger, frustration, all the emotions, all of them, how they can be in the car with us. They can be on the journey with us. Like, if I'm going somewhere, I know that fear is there. I know risk is there. I know anxiety is there, but I'm in the driver's seat. I'm the one leading us. I'm the one driving this car. I'm the one in control. And I think it's really easy for us to let those emotions take over, and we end up being in the back seat. We end up losing sight of what we want or what we desire. And I think it's not impossible, but I think it's hard to imagine a world where we didn't have big emotions, because they exist and they will happen, and it's okay. But if we're really wanting to get back in the driver's seat and allow those emotions to exist and not be so afraid of them, but remember that we are in control and we have the tools to be in control, these workshops are really great for you to get back in that driver's seat. So if you're wondering what you might get in a Daring Way workshop or group, I'm going to show you a couple things that we give to our group members. So we offer different types of groups and workshops. So we do what's called an intensive, and it's over the course of 3 days. We do a group, which is usually 10 weeks long, and we do a process group, which is never ending. I mean, that's what we say. Really, it's open year round, and it happens once a week. So if you were to sign up for an intensive, a 3-day workshop, and say it was on Brené's book, Rising Strong, you would get her workbook. Each member would get a workbook, and it really has all the activities that you would go through. So if you see, like, there's spaces to write. She also has beautiful images in here that really walk you through each of the activities, because the curriculum has about 12 to 15 lessons, and we go through lessons one by one together. So what happens is we watch a video where it's Brené herself speaking, and then we use the workbook to do an activity. So each member would have access to the videos as well as the workbook. So this is the first thing. Each member gets the workbook. And then we give each group member a journal. So this is kind of a moleskin journal, and you each get one so that you can write, journal, and just jot down anything that comes up for you in group. So each member gets one of these. And then we really love Post-it notes, because we do a lot of activities. And if you watch my art journaling video that you can find in my page, I do an activity on that video on permission slips, which is a lot of what we do. So we use a lot of permission slips. Everyone gets a writing tool, and we use art supplies. So this is just one example, but Sarah and I both have art carts, and this is mine, and I'm always adding to it. So there's markers, stickers, watercolors, Sharpies, glitter, stamps, yarn, feathers, like really everything. And so group members have access to our art cart. And then if it's a group on the Daring Way, which is, Brené has a book called Daring Greatly, then this is the workbook that group members get. So Rising Strong and Daring Greatly groups have 2 different curriculums, and it's 2 different workbooks. So this workbook is highly, it's got a lot of images. It's not as worksheet friendly, but the images, if you can see, are really beautiful. And so we give each group member a workbook. And with the Daring Greatly group, we usually print out worksheets for you guys, since it's not, the activities are not really in the workbook, but we have the worksheets that we give you. So similar setup, there's a video for every lesson. We do an exercise together, and then we do creative work together. So this is for Daring Greatly, and then this one is for Rising Strong. And so that's it. That's what you get when you join our groups. They're kind of fun, and I hope you guys will join. So if you're interested in joining one of our offerings, I'll link my website, and you can go to my website and see what offerings we have coming up this year and this semester. And feel free to reach out if you have questions. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video and this channel to get more updates on future videos. Thanks for joining.